And then out comes Sami Zayn, just a lamb being led to his own slaughter. And he's awaiting his opponent. The whole place is chanting for CM Punk. And then the garage door of the Allstate Arena opens, and in comes body guy Punk. And he enters. He's been working on those traps, working on those arms. And
this was not Ricky Rabies we were seeing.
No. I was waiting for the drone to come in and spit blood on Sami Zayn, but he was in for a harsher outcome. So
like Zayn's walkout, it's hard. You can't help but try and read into like,
dude, there wasn't a person in this arena who did not know what the next 20 minutes was going to entail. The only question was if this would be 20 minutes. I don't think there was a soul in the world that didn't realize this guy was just being a trooper tonight, and he was leading his title to the exchange tonight.
The man's a professional. Of course, but because of I don't know, all this media that he did over the past week talking about just like how special this moment is, he never thought this would happen. Maybe it'll never happen again. It's hard not to look at this walkout and try to read between the lines of I don't know what he might be feeling in the moment. Like I got the sense he was kind of trying to breathe it in and maybe operating under some recognition that this could be the last time he may ever walk out as a champion. Right. But this was not a crowd that I think, you needed to really savor because, I mean, they didn't want to see him as champion.
You know what I think was going through Sammy's mind?
What's that?
Episode 1, Jack Spade. For Punk's own good, I'm gonna Fujiwara him in 30 seconds. Make him cry in Chicago and leave with the title.
Could have done that, yeah.
He should have gone that route. Mm-hmm. So out comes Punk. Huge reaction, as you would expect.
Our heels were wind away, by the way. A really enjoyable podcast.
Guys, if you don't listen to every show we do, you don't get these references, okay? You got to keep on board. Zayn's pie-facing him at the beginning, and it's very loud for Punk. And they get underway, and it's like 10 roughly. And it's like, wow, they're going to go like a full-length match here, which let me ask if you felt differently. I thought the first half of this match was exceptionally slow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like
I also didn't catch anything between the commercials because
I didn't either. They did. So. It was not. Sometimes during the commercial break, they'll just play the match, but these were full on ads, and we had two commercial breaks in this 20-minute match. So,
they didn't. To me, it didn't grab me until the last break. And I mean, again, there are commercial breaks. They're wrestling for the commercial breaks too. So, I felt a very sort of deliberate, nothing really happening type of pace for.
There was a period where Punk is literally watching the crowd and he's slapping the mat to get them going. They did have to work to get, because I think this crowd, they were here for the Punk pop return, and this was just, we're waiting for the inevitable here. We want to pop for the finish, but you're going to make us wait 20 minutes for what was as clear cut of an outcome as you were going to see here. The idea that they were not going to screw Punk or Punk fans in this scenario with anything but the finish that you were going to get. So I thought it did take a while to get going here. Punk calls for the GTS early, but it's blocked. He busted out the Pepsi twist for a 2 count. And Zayn stops him on top, hits a superplex. This is when they go through the second commercial break, and Punk delivers the first of several step-up knees, but the Bulldog gets turned into a Blue Thunder Bomb, and then after another transition, hits the Bulldog and the top rope elbow. And dude, CM Punk's elbows off the top are just a thing of beauty to watch. I mean, just the grace, the poise. It's like a swan coming out of the sky and just landing ever so delicately onto the lily pad on the water. I mean, if I had to do an elbow drop, this is probably what it would look like.
At this point, it's sort of a signature of his, and I feel like he's kind of embraced that. I think he's made reference to it being, not a great looking elbow, but I mean, it still gets a reaction. I did note that Cole said, for some reason, Cole began the call of the elbow by saying, while
Bret
wearing
Hart
the
in his Bret Hart colors.
I'm like, I first of all, not even the same type of elbow, much less not even the same rope. So anyway,
he had another one earlier where it was like, Well, we'll see how are Ethan and Rusev going to get along next week. Graves is like, they're in a gauntlet match. They're opponents. Yeah, but the point is that they're teaming tonight. And he didn't explain it at all. He just said it with like a demanding tone to respond to Corey. It's like, yeah, anyway, he has to say a lot, and some of it makes no sense. So he hits the elbow off the top and then goes for the Anaconda Vice. Shout out to his boy, Yo.
The innovator of the move, of course.
Yes, of course. And then goes to the sharpshooter, which Sami is like, you're already going to disgrace me with a 9-day reign. You're not putting the sharpshooter on me, as he kicked him off. And then Zayn hits the GTS. And might I say, a really good looking GTS by Sami Zayn. Two good looking GTSs.
He's got the length for it. He's got the flexibility for it. Yeah, it did look good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He goes for the haluva kick, but Punk catches him for an exploder. So they're trading each other's moves. And then, I swear, Punk teases a haluva. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was like, this guy will just rip his groin out. Little did I know that was only the setup, okay? He goes for the haluva, gets caught into a second GTS and Blue Thunder Bomb. The crowd is chanting. And then Zayn just starts slapping him and berates Punk. I'm the world champion. Do you understand that? And that leads to Punk's fire up spot, and Punk barely escapes a haluva out of the corner. He was way too slow moving here. So Zayn like partially hit him, but Punk had to act as though he was got away scot-free. And I swear to God, CM Punk hits a fucking haluva kick. And this was the most physically impressive thing I have seen Phil do in some time, getting his leg up this high. And for a man that broke his foot crowd surfing, it's like this guy was just taking life into his own hands with this haluva kick. And
it's a pretty ambitious move, I feel, to for anybody to pull off. Like it's a move that looks easy, but to do it at the velocity of a Sami Zayn, which I mean Punk did not come close to, but to even attempt it at his age, you know, I give him some credit for it.
He pulled it off and then hits the GTS and pins Sami Zayn as CM Punk wins the championship after Sami Zayn's legendary 9 days with the belt. And I mean, it still does.
8-time world champion, CM Punk.
8-time world champion. You always remember your 8th. And he just left through the crowd. They really tried to make this a recreation of the Money in the Bank scene where he sat on the barricade and blew a kiss. Only now he's as embedded in this company.
He's John Cena. Are you kidding me?
like, oh no, he's left with our belt.
8-time champion, dude. Like taking the belt off of the guy who's held it for 9 days. He is John Cena now. Anyway, the match itself, terrific closing stretch, incredible atmosphere. I'm with you. I thought like the first portion's not really anything to write home about, but I do think like the booking is what we're here to talk about, you know. And
I'll say this: if you were telling me get to Cody and Punk, I thought they laid this out really well, because I thought it would be a guarantee that if this was Cody in this spot, you'd really be pushing this crowd to be turning on Cody in this way. I think this would have been a totally different atmosphere if it was Cody winning this match from Sami, even with the delivery of Punk at the end to walk out and do the face-off. The way they did it this way, they made it impossible that you were going to feel sympathy for Sami. It was going to be a fully pro-Punk crowd. And it does feel like you'll still get to your same destination, but it's with Punk as the champion and probably not the expectation people had a week ago.
I totally agree with you about the live reaction. To the people watching at home, the ones really happy and excited for the Sami Zayn win, which feels like it was.
They don't read social
everybody.
media. They don't listen to that.
Of course. I do think there is a massive chance. I haven't read any response to any of this, but I do think there is a massive chance.
I'm sure people are furious, and I'm sure Zayn is going to be a very sympathetic figure to many people. Of not so much, it's not only just the short reign, it's also like this has been this guy's story forever, was winning that big championship, and you can only win the first one once, and it just felt like this was literally just. It was a detour to do a detour. Like you could have just kept the belt on Cody and got to Cody and Punk, but they did this as just a way to shake things up for a week. And, you know, maybe if Zayn comes out of this and it's like a renewed sympathy that the crowd has for them, they'll run with that. But I mean, he was basically just a stand-in for a week to get to this shifting from Cody defending to Punk defending.
Well, you had an incredible moment in Saudi Arabia, which I mean was done, I think, for like to appease the people paying for that show and like justifiable for that reason alone, right? You know, to give Sami this big win, right? But I like in the design of this, I mean, I do think Punk's going to get a ton of heat from a certain section of the audience that just wanted to see this Zayn reign continue, but it's not necessarily unwelcome heat. I think it's the type of heat that'll make Sami's title motivations renewed and that much greater for years to come, much like, you know, it did for Drew McIntyre, like, you know, losing the belt because of CM Punk, you know, like, you know, over, you know, a few seconds, right? Like in this case, like there's demand now from Sami, either as a heel or as a babyface, to want an actual reign for the championship. That's the next chapter of his story that I think will fuel him for hopefully, like, you know, quite a while from now.
I mean, this does fuel like the character he's been playing, that, hey, you promised me a match with Cody. That's who I prepared for. You didn't even tell me my opponent. This is all rigged against me. And that character, I think with all of this response, this will babyface him further to the crowd because he's been excellent as this character.
Yes,
but I think, though, that the underlying thought is, though, I just really don't see that they see him in this role, in this big role. And I mean, he was already, you know, this great character. He was already like checks your boxes and stuff. And again, like here is somebody that, you know, we are elevating talents, and like, is Sami just going to be like the challenger of the month? And I think that's sort of where they see this guy, and they figured, hey, let's shake things up, and we're going to give this belt to him, but with absolutely no plan that this is someone that's carrying the load for us or is in any way a actual champion that we're going to headline a SummerSlam with. Like that's what this felt like.
Sure. But yes, on the one hand, it might just renew that much more like sympathy for Sami Zayn from the audience that I think wants to see a longer title reign, and therefore I think that keeps him like on the surface. But of course, there's always the risk of people losing interest. There's always the risk of the company losing interest in him, and I think Sami Zayn recognizes that. As much as I think he may feel confident that like, hey, like there's I'm always going to be in the mix now, especially now that I'm an established world champion level guy. I do think like you never know what can happen. You know, people lost interest in him through the Trick feud. That can happen again. So I think he walked out here perhaps like recognizing that this could be the last time. You never really know. But in the moment, depending on how he plays it, which should be excellent because he's excellent in everything he does, I think he can come out of this as a stronger babyface or even as a stronger heel, however they want to take it. Punk, on the other hand, I feel like this sort of move being announced as the 8-time champion, again, taking the belt off of a guy who only held it for 9 days, I think is almost like the perfect type of setup to tell the CM Punk heel turn story. He really does more than ever feel like a corporate representation now. There we go in the fridge. Lovely. So I feel like, you know, this could be a wonderful springboard for like a heel CM Punk Summer of Punk if they ever choose to go that route. And on the other hand, like it sets up a wonderful rivalry with Sami Zayn if they choose to go there.
Do you see them just sticking to the course that Punk and Cody is the SummerSlam match? And do you see Gunther and Zayn kind of separate from this title picture? Because they did do a very big angle with Gunther and Cody that's kind of unresolved in all of this.
Yeah. I would assume yes. You know, Cody and Punk, SummerSlam as the match. I mean, Cody at this point is owed a championship, seems to write itself. Gunther, I don't exactly know what he's got going with Nick Aldis. Gunther, Sami, just as a match itself. I mean, they can write anything. They can justify any match, right? So those two are sort of like the leftovers, you know, if you have Cody and Punk. So,
and not mentioned, but I think comes up on SmackDown is the other key that Aldis got the title match for Punk and is going to poach Punk and that gets him to SmackDown. So I thought if you were to tell me like we want to get to Punk and Cody, we want to get the belt off Sami Zayn. We want to get Punk away from Raw over to SmackDown. Like they did this in about as, you know, in a way that was going to mitigate any like backlash over taking the title off of Sami. It got them everything they wanted to do on this one show, booking it that way. But yeah, there will definitely be people that are, you know, that look at the Sami reign. But I think many people, it's not like this came out of left field either. I think as soon as Sami won this title, that almost became the first question of how soon this belt comes off. Sami was the one throwing it out. It's like, I don't know how long I'm going to have this. And if I have it for
he knows he's not the chosen guy. You know,
Yeah.
he knows he's not the ace. And that's, I think, incredibly relatable for most of us in life, because most of us are not a CM Punk. CM Punk used to embody that, but he's not that now. You know, he is John Cena right now. And I think that sets up a wonderful storytelling for the both of them. Again, if they choose to go there.
Did they really need to give Sami Zayn a 9-day title reign to get to a likely Cody Punk match at SummerSlam? In my opinion, it makes the Sami win in Saudi look like WWE wanted to appease the crowd and maybe others after he lost the title match to Drew at the Rumble earlier in the year. I mean, it got a pop for the night.
So the answer is yeah. Like they did want to appease Saudi. And I also think like maybe they saw an opportunity to give Zayn the championship now that they may not have in their plans for the rest of the year, if not even years, right?
It's possible. I mean, it's just it's one of those where it's like you will look back, and if this is the man's one title reign, there were people that'll be like, "Hey, he won the title." I was like, this to me wouldn't even rank among like, to me, like the top achievements of Sami Zayn's career. I would put that Johnny Knoxville match levels above this 9-day title. Like, what does this even mean? It's just,
it means a lot to him. It means a lot to the people that feel like, you know, having that attached to you. Like it's going to be on his Wikipedia top paragraph, right? When he dies, when you write, hopefully, you know, a million years from now, yes. But when anybody writes an obituary for him, you will include that as a note.
I understand when all performers will say like, hey, it's like we're being instructed with like the major championship. It means we're behind you. It's what this title symbolizes in a worked sport. But that's not what this title reign represented. This was not a...
Nobody talks about the amount of time, though. They talk about, like, especially in that first paragraph, in the byline, you know.
Well, wait till you read my bio, okay? That'll I will go through. I'll spend 3 paragraphs on this title reign. But I think for Sami, I think that this guy is like, he will take whatever comes of this, and like
he'll be champion again. I really feel, because I just think he's too talented. Like there will be an opportunity where he will fit into the perfect slot where the storytelling I think would make sense. And if he doesn't get there himself, the audience will take him there. I feel like he will, like this just makes him more sympathetic, I feel.
It probably will.
They're doing more Saudi shows, so I feel like that's something he should
NXT Saudi
probably bank on.
Maybe they just start up a satellite company.
Oh, WrestleMania next year. I feel like there's probably going to be a big role for him.
It's July on the Post Wrestling Cafe, and that means our extensive G1 coverage begins starting July 11th. We're going to have reviews of every single G1 card right up to and including the finals in the middle of August. Plus, Rewind Away takes a look at 2 episodes of Heels. We're also going to be going back to 2005 for a review of WrestleMania 21, and it is the start of our double shot episodes covering this season of Dark Side of the Ring. Plus, we are going to dive into the 3rd season of WWE Unreal. All that and so much more can be yours by signing up to the Post Wrestling Cafe. It gets you XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, Collision Course on a weekly basis, MCU later, and so much more.